Good morning, gorgeous people. So it's been a long time. So it's Suze from Crowfire Talk. Why is it? So the crow starts crowing, of course. Why has it been so long? So this is like an update video. Not any particular reason. Had my birthday end of July. Went to Glastonbury for the day for that. That was quite interesting. Been sort of preparing for my mastery again this year. That started in June, but we're sort of slowly getting started like we do. So we have to sort of pick a project or a few projects to work throughout the year. And I'm going to be working on my birth runes more, which I've got other like strands, threads going out to other places that are connecting with everything, and I'm pulling it all together. So I think it's going to be a really interesting year. I found it really difficult to get to do any videos. Either there's too many people around, and I mean, I could come out here. I'm in the summer house. Could come out here, which would be a lot easier. Maybe I should just come out here and do them. But yeah, it's been a bit of a challenging time in certain ways. Not chat. How do I mean? Not challenging it in the aspects of things going on in my outer world that are stopping me or anything. I think maybe it's within me, and of course we've got so much going on. We've had recently we've had solar flares again. The Schumann resonance was completely strange. I think it went bright red, and I know lots of people who are on their spiritual path have found the energies really intense. We're meant to be getting loads of downloads for our DNA and things go, oh, there's just so much going on. We've got, I did write down a few things actually. I mean, we've got the new moon, the new micro moon in Leo, which is a really nice, happy, vibrant energy. But we've got Venus in retrograde. I think Kali's around, Lilith is around. So we've got those beautiful dark energies. And you know, when we look at Kali, especially for me, because I connect with Kali more than Lilith, but Kali is such this deep dark grace that wants you to be absolutely, you know, you. People are scared of her because she epitomizes the, actually she's staring at me. As I'm saying this, she's staring at me because I did a biography piece of Kali and it's on my desk over there. So that is really quite funny. She's like looking at me as if, please don't say this wrong. So now I feel a bit scared. She wants us to be the absolute truth. I watched a video of rewilding with Sabrina on Kali, which was just fascinating because I love her, because she is just she's an amazing lady. I love her. And she was talking about Kali and how she gets us to, you know, that place, and talking about being deeply within our truth and like standing in our power. But it's not that egotistical standing in our power which we cross over into. So I think she explained it as like walking a tightrope. She did a lovely video for the full moon full moon, the new moon, this micro moon, a couple of days ago. I don't know how to link anything, so I'm really sorry, but it's rewilding with Sabrina. Yeah, if you want to try and find it and you can't, get in touch. She has got a Facebook group as well. I love her. I love her passion, and I love the way she speaks. I just love her. But she was saying it's like walking a tightrope, and we can either go into the ego, we can go into that timid, like, so say you're gonna say, I think she used the, you're a priestess and I'm a priestess, so we can go, oh, I'm a priestess, oh, I'm too timid to, oh, maybe I am, I don't know. And then we can actually truly stand in our power and go, I'm a priestess, I'm a priestess. It's like, oh my God. And that is different to, I'm a priestess. We go into the egoic, that ego-y. It's a really, really thin line. But Carly is trying to get us to that place. She's trying to get us to the truth of who we truly are and to be. And yeah, she'll throw all sorts of stuff at us to get us there. And then you've got Lilith sort of doing the same. We've got so many really fantastic energies, but like really, we've got 5 planets in retrograde: Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and Chiron. Mercury's going to join us next week, so that's like woo. And I drew my rune and my ogham for the lunar month. And of course I got Thurizaz. I was like, no, really? No, not with all these energies. I really don't want to be like dealing with Thurizaz as well. And it's so weird because Hagalaz I love. I don't really have much of a problem. And yet Hagalaz energy is probably way more disruptive in a way. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's outside. I think Thurizaz can be more inside. So we can be like stabbing ourselves. And in fact, when I worked with Thurizaz once, I was doing some sewing and I kept stabbing myself with the needle. I mean, no matter what I did, I just kept stabbing. I was blood everywhere. It was like, oh, for God's sake. And I realised it was Thurizaz trying to get me to see something, to look, to like, and I think what it was is I've been sitting sewing for too long and ended up like with my neck hurting and stuff. This sort of time is pretty much to look at are you feeling a bit down and you eat that cake and you really shouldn't, and it's not going to make you feel better physically, emotionally, mentally. It's not going to make you feel better. There's a difference in like going out with a friend and having a coffee and having a nice bit of cake because you're enjoying each other's company and there's beautiful cake in the cafe, and that's like a celebration. That's like, but there's a difference in like feeling down and thinking that stuffing in that cake is going to bring you back up. It's a bit connects you with the Northeast rune really, and looking at what are your needs. You're feeling crap, so should you be looking, what is this feeling, where's it coming from? Is something happening? Am I not doing something I should be doing? Instead of eating that bit of cake, why not put on some music and get up and dance and just get it out? So just the energies are really interesting. Yeah, so this is really a video of catching up, updates. it's been interesting. My creating has gone a bit strange as well. So I've been sewing now for a couple of years, and I tend to not be able to stop. So I start a piece, and I'm working on a piece, and then another piece comes through, and I start that, and so I've got loads of lovely pieces that are sitting there, and I do a bit on one and I do a bit on another, and and finish some, and so but that's been ongoing. And then I picked Ansu's for my rune for last month with the moon, and it sort of dwindled off, and I tried to pick up my sewing, and I tried to sew, and it was just a complete nightmare. And I got in my head that I wanted to work with some watercolour. I'm not really good at it, but my work is abstract, and I work with watercolour with mixed media, and I doodle, so it's really watercolour and doodling. So I started doing that, and I'd done loads of pieces, but I couldn't pick up the sewing, so that's gone. And working with dances, I found that my mind wanted to study, to learn. So I was like watching loads of YouTube videos on watercolor, and I was looking up all different stuff. And so the energy for me for the whole of last month's moon cycle was very much one of investigating, some integration, but it was more like researching, investigating, reading. Although I didn't read the book that I was meant to read, that was one of my mastery projects, because we've got a book club, and I was meant to read a book for the month, and I thought, oh my god, that's so easy, I can do that, easy peasy, because I can read a book so fast. Have I done it? No. I got, in fact, weirdly enough, I got up to Thurisaz and I stopped. But I had this really mad urge to get a book out of the library, my library. I've got a little cupboard that's a library, the smallest library in the world. So I went in there, and I knew I'd bought a book a few weeks ago, quite a good few weeks ago, and I just put it in there, left it, like I do, and it was just screaming at me. So I got that out, and that has been really interesting. I've had loads of, like, I wouldn't call them epiphanies, but revelations. I've had lots of stuff coming up, and I had a really, might seem a bit controversial to say, because anyway, let me go into it, and then I'll explain why I think it's controversial. So I was investigating some stuff, and I came across some soul collage stuff. Now my soul sister, rune sister, Kathy, she has done soul collage, and she's spoken to me about it, so I knew a little bit about it. But then I got obsessed, like, looking at it, and it was really coming to the fore for me. So I looked it all up, and it's by a lady called Sina Frost. I think was a psychoanalyst. She's passed now, and she came up with this thing of doing these soul collage cards, and you get images, so you magazines and stuff, and images that you're really, like, massively drawn to, and you put, like, a pile of, or they can be images that repel you. It's all about how they promote a very strong feeling, in you. So you put them all out on a table, ones that have called to you, and then you pick ones, and and you can pick, you know, just 3 images, 5 images. You can have loads of images on it. It's just, it's got to be what you want to put and how you want to put it. And then once you've done the card, you've stuck everything down, you then read the card. And I think it's oh, I can't remember the sentence now. I am the one who, or I am, yeah, something like that. I am the one who. So you look at the card. So say you've got a cat on the card and that seems to be speaking to you. So it might be the cat speaking to you, and you'll listen, and the cat will say, I am the one who, and then read to you. There might be a lady on the card that's speaking to you, and obviously the different aspects on the card can speak to you at different times as well. So you know, when you pick up the card another time, it might not be the cat speaking to you, it might be the lady, it might be the man, it might be the child, you know, whatever it is. And so I was like, yeah, again, with anything that I do, I end up creating a different way of doing it. I really respect the foundation that's there, that Sina Frost put out, because it's just fascinating. But I did get some other stuff come through which I'll play with. But I was sitting there just thinking, I haven't done a card, I haven't done my first card yet. You basically make a huge deck, and you've got 4 suits and all sorts of things. It's really interesting, actually. So I was sitting there, and just, I got in my head from nowhere, I am the one who has always been homeless. And I was like, bloody hell, where did that come from? And I sat with it, and it was a really big revelation. And this is why I feel it's a bit controversial, because I've never physically been homeless. So I've never not had somewhere to live. So it feels a bit wrong to me saying I am the one who is homeless. I just thought that you know, it's a really uncomfortable thing on every level, to be honest. On the level that the revelation was coming up for me, because as a child I didn't feel at home anywhere. For so many reasons. I didn't feel home on the planet. I didn't feel like and then as I've got older, it's been really interesting, because I've never actually gone out myself and rented somewhere or bought somewhere, or like, it's never been my choice. I've ended up somewhere because of other people, the circumstances around me. So when I got with my husband, I moved into his house, his and his brother's house. I moved in with my partner that I had into his house. You know, I mean, 8 years ago we moved here, and I was moving in with my mum and dad, which is like really strange at like 50. Well, I wasn't 50 at the time, but you know, that was weird. But and it's fine, but it's not my home. I've never actually ever had a place that I could honestly say is my home, is something that I don't even know how to explain it. I know it spiritually within me. I can feel it spiritually within me. It's really interesting. So, but I was like not going to talk about it, because I felt really, do you know, there's a piece of garnet sitting on the table and it's screaming at me, so I've got to pick it up. There's 2 actually, so let me do that while I'm sitting here. I don't know why they want to speak to me, but they do. So yeah, that was like a really big revelation. And some of it with like the childhood part is really uncomfortable. I'm not enjoying it, looking there, but I truly believe that Carly is going, you will go in there, and Lilith as well, you will go in there, you will look at this, you will see what's going on, and it will release you from whatever because I didn't do this looking for, when you go into meditation, you're looking for an answer for something, you pick a tarot card, you pick an oracle card, you do something, you pick your runes and you have a question, and you're looking for answers. I wasn't looking for any answers because I didn't even have a question. It just like was in my head from nowhere. It just came from nowhere. And it's very much Thurizaz. Do you know Kali and Thurizaz, they go together, don't they, really, if you think about them? Because Thurizaz will poke and prod, and it will try and get you there. Yes, it's a defensive rune, and yes, you can use it for defense, but it also pokes and prods. And whereas Hagalaz just bursts everything open, so you've got to the stage where it's complete chaos. I think Sabrina said about Carly is like she'll put you in places and give you the stuff that make you so uncomfortable that actually, like, because you're trying to change, she's trying to make you change, she's trying to make you get to that place, and she'll make you so uncomfortable that that actually it's more comfortable to go to the change. That I loved that. That was like, oh my God, I get that. So that you're in such an uncomfortable place that actually change is a relief. It reminds me of going to the dentist. I remember, because I'm not great with the dentist, and I had toothache, and it went on for ages, and it was getting too bad, and I was terrified of going, and I didn't have a dentist, and so me and my husband found a dentist, and the main trouble that I have at the dentist is the injection. I absolutely hate I hate needles. I don't mind tattoos, but I hate needles, and the fear is quite intense. It's not. It's my son's got a proper true phobia of needles. Mine isn't as bad as that, but it's there. So anyway, this pain, it just got worse and worse. We found this dentist, and we walked into the waiting room and like booked in, and they said, oh yeah, you need to be seen now. And all of a sudden the dentist came out, and she said, right, I'm going to inject you while you're sitting in the waiting room because you're in so much pain. And I was, yeah, do it, please, just do it. And there was no fear of the needle. The pain was so bad that the needle was actually very Thurizaz. The needle was just a welcome. It was just like, yeah, please, just do it. And when the relief, where it all deadened and all that pain stopped, was like, oh God, this is just awesome. But the fear came back straight after. But at that time, the fear completely disappeared because I needed the pain to go so badly. So I'm wandering off on some very strange roads, but the energy's doing that because the energy's just, it's taking you to places. It wants you to look. I think a lot of that is Venus in retrograde. Frigg's chariot. Frigg's down. She's in the underworld. She's she's retreat. She's come off the throne. And she's looking for integration of parts of herself to come back up. She's retreating to have a good look at what needs healing, what is surfacing, so at the moment that sort of energy is very much there. And we've got so many other planetary stuff that is with the other planets in retrograde as well. I'm not going to go into all what they are. I mean, to be honest, I'm still learning all this myself with my birth runes. And because we work with the birth runes a bit different to astrology. Astrology is astrology, runic astrology, to Western astrology. So we don't like use the planets in the same way. So I've worked with planets for years, so I sort of do work with them, but I've only ever really truly worked with Mercury retrograde. I've never really worked with the other planets in retrograde because I've never gone into it deeply enough. And for us working with runic astrology with Maggie Cunningham, we work with the goddess. So when Odin goes in retreat, that's what we say, he goes into retreat next, I think it's next week, where Mercury goes retrograde. We work with that energy more than, say, the retrograde planetary energy. Although they're both, you know, they're working together. It's very connected if you want to work with both. But saying to me like Odin is going into retreat, he, you know, I find that so much easier to connect with. And like Venus retrograde, but when I think of like Frigg and I think of her, you know, retreating, restoring, that just, it works better for me. I can feel that more, so I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, what else have I been up to? Updates. Oh goodness. Yeah, I think that's probably a lot of, it's very funny because I haven't done anything on my other channel either. And I mean, it's been a good few weeks. Let me have a sip of my tea, see if anything comes to me that I want to say. Oh, I did find it funny because the last few months as well, we redid the garden. So we've put in some raised beds, and we've, you know, got new plants, and we've done all that, and it was really lovely, really enjoyed it. And then it's just rained and rained and rained, so I can very, very rarely sit out and enjoy the garden because of the rain recently. So nice day today. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. They did say it's probably going to rain tomorrow or tonight, or I'm not sure. So I will be spending some time out in the garden today. Yeah, we popped out yesterday, and we got out into nature, and that was nice. And that it retuned something. I could feel something being retuned. Pardon me. It was like, you know, like when you suddenly feel grounded. It was similar to that, but something tweaked. That was really, I wonder whether it was part of this, like, I've always been homeless, because the place that I do actually feel at home totally, like completely, is in the woods, in a forest in the woods. That is home. I'm sure I was a tree in a past life. I feel more at home with the trees than anything. And I do feel at home with my crystals, and I feel at home with my art. And I think a lot of what this was trying to say to me was like the actual physicality of a place. Like I feel at home in Wiltshire. I never, ever, ever felt at home in Surrey. Ever. It was never my home. It just, no. When I moved here, I was really, really happy with the location. And that, I mean, I love my mum's house. It's just a little terraced house. It's nothing special, but it's actually homely in that sense. They've got it homely. It's nice. um I felt at home when I used to come and visit my mum. That always, it felt like, it felt not, no, it feels nice, the house feels nice, but to me it's not my home, it's their home, you know. If it's stupid things that are really interesting in my head. It's like, you know, if you spill paint everywhere, you would, you know, you'd be so annoyed, you'd be upset, you'd be, you know, you'd like, oh my god, you know, I've got to buy new flooring or so, you know, it would upset you. But it's like, if I spill paint everywhere, that's like, there's a guilt, there's this, oh my god, that's not my carpet, that's not my flooring, that's not, you know, there's, yeah, there's a very strange energy that still sits there, because it isn't my home. Mum and dad make me feel really welcome, it's not, you know, but yes, really interesting. So that's something that I need to do some more work on, because I know there's some very interesting thing underneath it, but I haven't got to that yet. So I'm wondering, if I start making some soul collage cards, whether that's gonna come out through the cards. I ordered Cena Frost's soul collage evolving book. That's her the newer version of the soul collage book. And there's another lady I've been following that worked with her and stuff, and she's done some books that look really interesting. So but yeah, it's been an interesting time. So I know what I wanted to talk about. So what I'm going to do is, I know I started my mini series on you know, what I was using, and I will carry on with that, but that's, you know, I haven't done any more at the minute, but I will do. But I want to start another mini series. I wanted to start this weeks ago, but it wasn't correct, and I don't, you know, hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'm going to try and do videos on a Wednesday as best I can. So like, that is what I do on a Wednesday. I do a video for YouTube, and it's easier for me because I don't do all the editing and all of that stuff, but I still find it difficult to sit down and do one. But I want to do a mini series on the runes now. I feel it's time. You know, it's been a good 3 years of really deep diving into the runes, and I want to do each rune. I'm not sure if they're going to be in sequence of, you know, Feyu, Urus, Thurizaz, Ansus, like that. I'm not sure. They may just come up when a rune wants to talk. I might do it that way. But I want to talk through so it's basically my Gouldra book, my book, my way with the runes, how the runes have come to me, how they show me, you know, using a rune magically, using a rune for healing, using a rune for divination. So I'm gonna pick, you know, work with a rune, and then I'm going to give you all what so far, because I know there's a lot more to do, so far what I've got from the rune for different ways of using them. Long-winded way of saying different ways of using them. So yeah, so that is gonna be coming up on the channel. Thank you for everyone who's subscribed and stuck with me, although I keep disappearing. Last year I disappeared all the time, but that was because I did have a very year. this year I don't know why it's very strange. I would really like to get to the point where I just do a video every week and like get it out and do it, you know, and but I don't know, it goes all over the place, time goes all over the place. It's very difficult as well because my husband works shift work, and so he can be sort of off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and you know, so there's never a day that is actually there. So we might go out, or we might do something. So I can't commit very easily to something like rigidly, because you know, I suppose it's like it for a lot of people, but I know like a lot of people that do YouTube videos, they're religious and they do it, and they have more because they edit and do all that. I don't, anyway, hopefully one day one day I will. So I want to thank everyone for subscribing and sticking with me, and anyone new that comes in, anyone that sees this video, you know, if you can like and subscribe, and not that, you know, it matters. I always think if one person watches the video, that's fine. If no one watches the video, that's sort of fine as well. But you know, it is nice, I suppose, if you're doing, like if I do a rune series, that'd be nice if they're watched, because you know, putting in the effort to do it and give out what, you know, what I've got, whereas this is just like an update and I'm just waffling about a lot of random stuff. But yeah, so this is just an update, and I hopefully will start to do some more interesting, I keep saying that, and they don't get any more interesting because because I can't get on to do them. Yeah, I've got mum and dad in the house, they're elderly, and it's the stuff and life, and you know, it just yeah, one day it'll work out. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Yeah, again, like if you can, and I shall see you in the next one, with hopefully some interesting content on the runes, because that's where I want to go with this channel, get more into the runes and the magic, and you know, put out some good interesting stuff. And yeah, I just hope you're all sort of getting through with the energies. I know a lot of people have got so many different things coming up for them. Just go with it, and if Carly's dragging you down to the depths for you to look at stuff, just, you know, surrender, let her love. I mean, she's ferocious, but it's ferocious love. She's, you know, she's full of grace and love, and she just wants the best for us. So yeah, I just recommend surrender, because she doesn't give up. So I think she's smiling at me now, so yeah. Love you lots, and I shall see you in the next one. Love and blessings. Bye.